There are exactly two things that I did to drop 5 inches off my thighs and drop 60 pounds and keep it off. But I get it, I understand. After a long 12-hour shift, maybe you're done working on the business, you go and you scroll on your phone and you're seeing 101 different things on how you can drop your thigh fat. And I get it, it's very confusing. I've been there myself. But what I'm about to share with you now is going to help you not only slim your thighs down, but just completely simplify the process for you and give you a very clear roadmap. So after you're done watching this video, you know exactly how thigh fat actually works and how you've accumulated it, but more importantly, how you can get rid of it. And what's even more important than that is learning how to make sure that that thigh fat never ever comes back ever again. So where should we begin? But as somebody who's been there and done it, I want to share two things that are going to be critical for you to drop that thigh fat for good and make sure that you can go into any clothes store that you want and buy the clothes off the rack without having to spend $90 to $150 on a bloody pair of trousers that you don't even like. First place, you're going to want to understand how you got your thigh fat in the first place. And I'm going to break down some beliefs that might be quite uncomfortable for you, okay? Because there's a lot of coaches, there's doctors out there that are promoting the same methods that kept my thighs fat for many years, and I still see them tripping guys up right now, whether it be the guys that come from me for coaching or whether it just be people documenting their own journey on social media. So you got to understand that when you're losing fat, where that fat comes off from, it is completely genetic. Unfortunately, it's not down to you. It is whatever it is, whatever genetic makeup your parents or whatever they've got in them, you've got on you right now. So how do we move forward from this? Well, the best way to get past this roadblock of your thigh fat is realizing that when you're losing fat, you lose it from everywhere. It's not just one place at a time. It's from different areas of your body the further that you're in a calorie deficit. But then this leads us on to our next question. What about thigh fat exercises? Now, I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of influencers and people online doing these weird exercises, like with their legs, saying that this is going to target thigh fat. This is the number one exercise that you need to get rid of the problem for good. I want to debunk that for you right here. There are no fat burning exercises whatsoever, which may come as a surprise for you. But all of it is marketing, all of it is just a scam, and it's a facade. You already know the two main drivers that are going to push your progress forward when it comes to dropping your thigh fat, and that is going to be your deficit and your 10K steps. I'm not going to go over that here, okay, because you guys know I've preached that 10,000 times. There's tons of other videos on the channel that you can watch about that. We're actually going to go a little bit deeper here. So now that you know that there are no thigh fat burning exercises and you know that your fat is coming off from wherever it decides to, we now have something that we can work with. Hopefully, in what I'm saying, instead of turning you off, instead of getting you angry and frustrated, it actually gives you great comfort. Because now you're not lost, you're not confused, you know exactly how it works and how you're going to move forward. We're going to ignore a calorie deficit and getting your 10K steps because you already know that. What I want to talk to you about is actually restructuring your entire frame. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've got big chunky thighs like I did, what you notice is that when you look at yourself in a mirror, you're very out of proportion, right? For me, I had the worst build on the planet. My upper body, like here, what you're seeing right now, is very small. And then as we got lower down to my waist, it would just balloon out. And you got to imagine when you're going into work, right? You're walking into the office, especially if it's your first day. And, you know, you buy your suit, you make sure it's a nice one too. And you go in there, or you look in the mirror, you look in the change rooms, and you're like, wow, like these thighs are chunky, they're humongous. You know, when you're walking, you can feel them rubbing up against you. God forbid, trying to walk upstairs, when you sit down where the groin area, the crotch area, your trousers, you can feel it starting to split. It's just a horrible place to be. And if you're somebody in that situation right now, I deeply empathize with you. But the way that we restructure our bodies to do that is actually by building muscle everywhere else, okay? Losing thigh fat, I hate to break it to you right now, it's not a very quick process, okay? It's going to take time like losing fat, like any other part of your body. But what we can do is mitigate the negative effects of how it actually looks on the eye. And the way that we do that is by actually you're not going to think of this. I mean, you're going to think this is crazy, but you actually want to make yourself bigger so you are in more, your proportions are way more equal. And the way that you do this is by strength training and building muscle. Now, there are two parameters that must be met if you want to do this successfully, because a lot of people are going to take this advice and they're going to do it wrong. I want to stop you from becoming one of those people. So it's vital that I don't care what you have to do, whether you have to get a pen and paper and write this down to a T. Now, when you're training, it is vital. Now, I've gone over training splits in a different video. That's not for now, though. It's vital that you have these two parameters locked in. Number one is that you're going consistently. Okay, there's no point going to the gym 7 days a week and then not doing it a week later. And the second parameter is going to be that you are absolutely training to failure. Now, how do you know if you're training to failure? Because a lot of people say that they're training to failure, but when I look at clips that I review, people are half-assing it in the gym. And if you are serious about getting rid of this thigh fat for good, then this is something you're going to want to pay attention to. So when you're training to failure, the only time that I want you to stop is when, with good form and good technique, you can't push that weight. You can't push it. That is when you know that you have successfully reached failure and you can move on to your next exercise, or you can take your break, or however you've structured your program. You meet those two parameters for long enough, you're going to see tremendous results. I won't sit here and promise you that you're going to lose your thigh fat in the next 90 days. I can't guarantee that. I'm not coaching you. I don't know what your situation is or how you're going to react to that type of training. But what I do know is that by focusing less on the actual thighs, which is crazy, I know, and focusing on the rest of your body, taking a holistic approach, which is what I always preach, is going to be the key that is going to help you trim down those thighs. Because the number one reason why your thighs stick out like a sore thumb right now is just a proportion problem. That's all it is. It's not bad genetics, right? Because when you lose the fat, you're going to have an amazing, amazing set of legs. The problem is just that you're underdeveloped everywhere else. So I want to throw a question at you. Does it make sense to focus on something that we can't really control? We don't know how long it's going to take for us to reach that end goal and that end destination. Does it make more sense to pour more time, more energy, more headspace, more focus? I mean, this could be it was taken away from my work. It was taken away from my first failed business venture that I went on. That's a different story for a different day. If you want to hear about that, you can comment down below. But yeah, boy, that was a rough period. But why would you waste so much energy on something that you can't really control? When something like working the rest of your body, getting a nice pair of shoulders, you can get the biceps, you can get the chest, you can get the back. If you can do that, number one, look better, yield better results from the effort that you're putting into that activity. And it also has the added benefit of reducing the overall appearance or, of the size of your thighs. Man, why wouldn't you do it? So yes, you want to make sure that you're training to failure. Yes, you want to make sure that you're focusing on rounding yourself out and getting and gaining more muscle. But more importantly, the lesson here is to actually focus on the thighs less. Think about it this way. Whenever there's been something in life you've desperately wanted and you've been chasing and you've had your mind set on it, whether that be that promotion at work, whether you're starting your business and you want to make, your first 5K, your first 10K month, the more that you focused on it, even if it may be a woman, for example, the more that you focus on it and the more that you dialed in on it, what happened? Did you get what you want? Or did that thing that you so desperately desired, did it slowly start to run away from you the more that you kept pursuing? Think about it in that sense. And I think what you'll find is that when you stop focusing on the thigh fat, which I know is easier said than done, but it can be done. Now, by the way, if you do need help implementing everything that I've just said, there's going to be a link down in the pinned comment and in the description. So if this is something that you need help with, we can jump on a call and I'd be happy to discuss how I can help you, providing that, we're a good fit to work with each other, right? Because of course, not everybody gets along. With that being said, focus on the thigh fat less. Focus on training to failure. Focus on bettering your physique overall using a holistic approach. And you'll not only drop the thigh fat, but you'll get the body that you so desperately want. Now here I've made a deep dive talking about how you can rip the fat off your body and you can pack on the muscle, spending less time in the gym, less time in the kitchen, and still build that unbreakable body, confidence, and discipline that you want, despite whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're running a business and you're managing people. You've got big decisions, you've got responsibilities, and you don't have the headspace to get confused or spend hours and hours and hours watching fitness content that isn't moving you any further towards your goals. That video is likely going to answer all of your questions, and I highly recommend you watch this next.